Hey gang, Bison here, out in the wilderness with Troy from Do It Yourself World and the man of many things. We're doing a little survival dinner tonight. We had a nice day splitting wood, practicing some other survival skills, and we're going to test the Emberlit UL Titanium stove.
Well, right now my goal with this stove is to test boil a pot of water, which I have sitting right here. I have a quart of water in there, and it is unsafe to drink in its current state, and we are going to boil it to make it safe to drink. And we're going to see how long it takes using this Emberlit stove, which is a backpacker's wood cooking stove, and see how it works. So let's gather our kindling and get this thing going.
Alright gang, be back in a sec.
Alright, where's those twigs? All done there. Oops. Hope those twigs catch.
Me too. We should transfer this into the, let's make a secondary one in the stove at the bottom here.
Well, if we get those twigs to catch, we'll be alright.
Yeah, give me the stuff.
Well, no, you got it? Because it's still...
What?
It's killing itself. Come on, catch those twigs. Catch those twigs in. Okay, we got fire. Let me feed this little baby fire. Come on, burn that stuff. Burn that stuff.
That balsa wood looking stuff is going to work right.
It is. Where'd it go? Here. That stuff really nice, easy. Yeah, that stuff works. We'll get a little fire here and then transfer it over. Uh-oh. Blow from that angle. Gently. Oops, I dropped it. If we can get this fragile little fire to go.
Let's just take this. We're doing too much, so let's just breathe. There we go.
All right.
Thing.
We need to somehow, do you think that'll, well, can we take a burning ember from this?
It's not going to ignite that though, it's still dry.
You don't think? Is that, it went out. I'm afraid we're going to lose our little fire. It's very sad. I have to be careful.
What we're going to do is we want to contain it in there because that'll keep it warm and it'll dry out what's in there. There we go, we got this now.
Oops, killed it. Killed the wood. All this stuff. And that's not. This stuff will burn. Is it going to burn? Put him in there. Look at that, he does burn. find that stuff in there. Well, I'd rather have 2 fires than none. Right?
I agree.
There we go. We'll get it.
Oh yeah, we're good.
We'll get
Where's
it.
some of that balsam and stuff?
Now, unfortunately, can you move your little pile over here? Because this is where the stove sits. That's on a full plate. Alright. There we go. Yeah, that's some amazing wood. Starting to form the pyramid now. So to explain what we did, it took us forever to get a fire going using wet wood and everything was wet that we had out here. So what we finally found is some grasses to make a bird's nest on a piece of tree bark. The tree bark is our table to hold it in place for us, which is still intact actually. And then because that fire was so fragile, we didn't want to risk losing it, we made another bird's nest in here, inside the Emberlit stove, and then transferred some of the glowing pieces of wood into the Emberlit stove, into that bird's nest. And that way we didn't risk losing our very fragile fire that took us so long to get going. But in a true survival situation, starting a fire is not always that easy, especially after it's been raining so much.
Right, but how long have we been at it now?
About an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And it took us an hour to get a fire going. And that was with the ferro rod.
Right.
Now imagine if we didn't have that, if we were trying to rub twigs together.
Oh, forget it.
And, you know, I watched a survival show where it took them, I think, 13 days to get fire.
Right. The idea behind this door is you feed it from in here.
Yeah. Well, I've got some bigger stuff for feeding the fire with.
There we go. Now we're good.
Yeah, we got a good fire. Now, all right, where's our cross braces?
Here.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Let's get this. We want it in here.
Okay.
This is probably hot, so.
It's going to be hot. We want it on a flat surface if you can. That's not too bad. There you go. There you go. Now we've got our cross pieces, which, now it's awkward to do, start the fire with the cross pieces in place, I think.
Yeah, that's why they give us a little feeding door, but sometimes, maybe we just wait for it to die down a bit.
No, I got it.
You got
See?
it. Nice.
Got it in there. Okay. So, we can start our pot of water, finally. Woo! Now I got no hair on my knuckles. Oops, got a leaf in there after all that waiting.
It's alright, it's all part of the fun.
Alright, now, what we got here is the Emberlit stove feeds through from the side, and you can put bigger pieces of wood in and just keep feeding it as it goes. And that wood I have here. I've got some branches and twigs pre-prepared. I'm going to use the big stuff here now.
Okay.
Because now we're down to cooking. It's the real deal. And then I want to grab my camera and show how that feeds in the side. So you've got this feed door here, and you just shove in larger branches and keep feeding them in as they burn, which gives you a steady source of fuel for your fire inside. So, burning along pretty good. We'll see how long it takes to boil a quart of water.
It's been exactly 2 minutes now since you put the water on.
Okay. Burning nicely. There's some good coals in the bottom. It's looking really good.
Yeah, that nice big pile of long grass we put on the bottom finally took.
All right, well, I'm going to feed a little bit more wood in there, set my camera down, and we'll see how long it takes. We'll be back in a minute. Like that. Who's calling me now?
It's probably Cliff. You want anything else ready, Cliff?
Huh? It's starting to bubble.
Just an update. We're at about 10 minutes now when it's starting to bubble.
Well, we neglected this stove for a minute. We were distracted. So it should have probably been done already, I'm thinking.
How much water's in there?
It's a quart.
Oh, yeah, it's going to take a fair amount of time.
Yeah, it's true. Most tests on the videos are done with, what, 8 ounces or something, right?
Yep. Whoop.
That was a weird sound.
Heard something flapping in the woods.
Yep. All right, now I think the Emberlit stove works as good as any camp stove.
Different angle now.
It's free. Oh yeah, we got foam forming on the water now. It's spinning around and around now in there. The key is to keep feeding the fire in through the side port, feeding the wood, I should say, in. Reminds me of tending a rocket stove, but this is, I think, easier than feeding a rocket stove. I just don't know why. I made a rocket stove, the soup can version, and I just didn't like it. But the biggest problem with the rocket stove is cleaning it out is a nightmare. I was not happy with that. So we have, basically, we've got a good boil now. We've got a rolling boil on a handful of twigs in 10 minutes, which, there, you see that? Oh, hold that light on there. Let me get my camera on here. We have a rolling boil on a handful of twigs in 10 minutes, and that's a quart of water. That is very, very acceptable, very impressive. A handful of twigs, that means no matter where you are, I'm sure you can find a handful of twigs to get your stove going.
Absolutely.
And now it's really burning, and now you could really get cooking on this thing. You could prepare entire meals. All right, guys, well, I think it's time to start cooking dinner.
Yeah, let's get it.
Well, the Emberlit stove, there you have it. And that was without using any man-made fire starting materials. Well, we used a ferrocerium rod, but I mean, we used wet tinder and wet materials to get this fire going. It was quite a challenge, and we did not want to cheat or use any man-made kindling or tinder material, and we had to scrounge around until we found something that worked. It took us an hour to get the fire going, but once we got the stove lit, it was burning well. So this is a real test of what it'd be like if you were out there, out in the forest, with nothing but your stove and the twigs and sticks that you can find on the trail.
Yeah, it just shows, you know, if you're an ultralight guy, you got an ultralight stove that folds down to fit in your back pocket, and you got that, and a ferro rod, and a good knife. That's all you really need.
Yeah, I like the fact that, there's really uneven ground for my camera here. I like the fact that it, I mean, really, that it doesn't need fuel. You don't have to carry anything with you.